Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel Marketing.
In this video, I want to give a quick overview to using YouTube for marketing purposes. First though, a bit of background about the site itself. YouTube is a video sharing site, and most of the content is uploaded by individuals, but companies and corporations can upload footage too. And it's the second largest search engine on the net. YouTube was acquired by Google in 2006, and the two sites work very closely together. For example, you can sign in to YouTube using your Gmail account. Now, YouTube is good for both business to business and business to consumer communication. And YouTube offers many advantages to marketers. First of all, it's highly engaging. It's passive and it's hard to look away from, and the brain has evolved to pay attention to moving images and sounds. Think about it for a moment. If you're in a room talking to someone and the TV's on, no matter how hard you try otherwise, you're going to find yourselves, just sort of looking across just to check the TV, just to see what's on. It's irresistible, and that's one of the big advantages that YouTube has and videos on YouTube have over static pages, because they are highly engaging. And a YouTube video lets you put your message across in a highly persuasive and engaging manner. You can speak directly to your audience. You can lend personality to your organization. You can have music as part of your YouTube video, which can help you sell emotional points. If you think about it, when you go to the movies, if you listen to the background music, it really does emphasize some of the points that are being made, tension or sadness or happiness or upbeat. And you can use that in your YouTube videos to help get people in the right sort of frame of mind to buy your product or service. And of course, it lends more power to everything that you say. And YouTube videos can be viewed on computer desktops. You can watch it on your desktop or your laptop. You can watch it on smartphones, and you can also watch YouTube videos on tablets. Now, there are several types of videos that you can use for marketing. There are straight out advertisements. There are viral videos. There are vlogs or video blogs. There are tutorials, interviews, events, and presentations. You can have just a very simple video, just a PowerPoint presentation with a voiceover. A word about viral videos, though. Directly salesy type videos tend not to go viral very often. The best type of viral video is something that catches the public's imagination. I'm sure you've seen all sorts of videos or mentions of videos like, skateboarding cats and that sort of thing. But the way to capitalize on a viral video or on a quirky video that you hope will go viral is not to make it too salesy, but just to say have a link to your website at the end, or a mention of your website URL at the end, to encourage people to go to your site. That's the way to make a viral video work for you as a marketing tool. Now, of course, when you're making YouTube videos, you want to make sure that your videos are good quality. Because if you've got a crummy video, people are going to think that you make a crummy product or you provide a crummy service. So quality is king when it comes to making a good YouTube video. High definition 1080 is the best. That's the one that they recommend. Some people think you should shoot 4K. Personally, I don't think that it's worthwhile going that far at the moment, although as the internet evolves quite quickly, that might be something to bear in mind for the future. Above all else, though, your YouTube videos should be well shot and edited. Like I was saying earlier, make sure that they are good quality. And you should consider hiring a production company or a videographer if this sort of thing isn't your forte. Because if your video looks amateurish, like I was saying, it's going to reflect badly upon you because people do judge the quality of the product or service they're going to get from you by the quality of the video that they see on YouTube. And the more often your video gets watched, the higher it will rise in the rankings on YouTube. And top ranked videos also show up in the Google search results for their particular keyword. This is another way that Google and YouTube work closely together. If you've got a really popular video on YouTube, then it's going to show up in the Google search results for the particular keyword as well. So you do actually kill two birds with one stone in that way. Getting started with YouTube is very easy. As I was saying earlier, you can sign in with your Google ID. You can then come here to where it says My Channel. Just click on that. And you can customize it in a similar way that you can with your Facebook page and your Twitter homepage and that sort of thing. And then you can start uploading videos. You can have featured channels and so on. And it's all fairly straightforward. Once you've got a video up on YouTube, you can have it for everybody to see. It can be publicly displayed, or what you can do is you can restrict it so that only people that you send the link to can watch it, or only people who are signed into YouTube. So it does give you a lot of flexibility, both for marketing to a wider audience and also for restricting it to a narrow audience as well. In this video, I want to talk about Twitter and how you can use it for marketing purposes. First of all, a bit of background about Twitter. Twitter is both an online social media site and a smartphone app. And Twitter users send short messages called tweets, and these are limited to 140 characters. Anyone can read tweets, but only registered users can post them. And people who are following a particular Twitter user get notified every time that person posts a tweet. They can then forward it on to their followers, and this is known as a retweet. Other users can also be quoted in a Twitter tweet by using the @ symbol, the A in a circle there. And topics on Twitter can be grouped together using hashtags, which is the number sign that you often find on a telephone keyboard. And when a topic is popular and being retweeted a lot, it's said to be trending. And Twitter is great for business to business, business to consumer, and consumer to consumer communications. And both individuals and corporations can have Twitter accounts, and it's a great way to stay in touch with customers and clients. And Twitter's reach spans the globe. As you can see, it's available in most countries throughout the world. There are some that you can't penetrate with Twitter. China doesn't like Twitter very much, and also some countries in sub-Saharan Africa where the internet and mobile phone networks aren't very well established. You can't get Twitter there. But most other countries, most of the other major countries in the world, major economies in Europe, North and South America, Australia, and so on, can access Twitter. So you have quite a wide reach. And Twitter is sometimes called the pulse of the planet because people can tweet their reactions to events very quickly. And you can also get instant feedback this way. And if you think about it, when you've only got 140 characters, then you're forced to be very concise in your messaging. So you have to get what you want to say down to 140 characters. So you have to be very specific and to the point. So there can't be any waffle or anything in a Twitter tweet. But also, a Twitter tweet being so short is very easy and very quick to read. So people are going to read your tweet in its entirety because it's not very long. Whereas with, say, a blog post, then it's going to take a while to write and it's going to take a long time to read. And sometimes people get bored and click away. But with a tweet, obviously, that's not going to happen. And Twitter is popular with business leaders, it's popular with celebrities, and it's popular with politicians because, of course, you can communicate directly with your customers, directly with your fans, directly with the voters. It doesn't have to go through any middlemen or any other stages. It's just straight to the recipient on Twitter, and that is very, very powerful. And here we can see some famous people's Twitter accounts. We've got Bill Gates, Lindsay Lohan, and President Barack Obama. Now, if you're going to use Twitter for marketing purposes, it works best when you don't try to be too salesy. If you try to send Twitter tweets that are, buy my product and the URL, then you'll find that people will turn away from it quite quickly. What you need to do is to use it in conjunction with other social media. So use it in conjunction with things like Facebook, with YouTube videos, with postings that you have on your blog. It's a good way of drawing people's attention to posts that you have on your blog as well. And basically, when you're using it for marketing, use it to maintain a rapport with your customers and your potential customers, and frankly, you can't go wrong. And you can sign up for Twitter here at twitter.com. Just enter your name, email address, and password in the box here, and click the button here that says sign up for Twitter, and then follow the on-screen instructions. It's actually very simple. In this video, I'm going to talk a bit about Instagram and how you can use it for marketing purposes. Before I do that, let me give you some background to Instagram. Instagram is a photo sharing smartphone app, and it enables you to share photos on social media sites such as Facebook, Tumblr, Flickr, and Twitter. And it's particularly popular with Twitter users because you can include the URL to your photograph in a Twitter tweet, and it also uses hashtags in a similar way to Twitter. Now, let me give you some background here. Instagram launched in October 2010, and it was acquired by Facebook in 2012 for $1 billion. Over 300 million users access the site every month, and that was by December 2014, the last time that they published the stats. And it's estimated that over 58 photographs are uploaded and one new user signs up every second. So you can see that it is a rapidly growing site and one that you can use to reach a massive audience. And you can add tags to your photos and images. Like I was saying earlier, you can use the hashtag symbol, and it works in a similar way to hashtags on Twitter. So, for example, if you were to take this photo and upload it to Instagram, you could have the hashtag hiking trail, hashtag Mount Tamalpais, and hashtag tired. You can also tag people using the @ symbol, again, just like on Twitter. And you could also tag users in the picture themselves, like on Facebook. Instagram also has the ability to message photos with Instagram Direct. So you can send someone a private message as a photo. And it's also possible for users to follow accounts just like you do on Twitter. Now, Instagram is a fantastic way to promote products and services. You can use it to increase your brand's visibility. And of course, you can position yourself as a hip and artistic organization. Another thing that you can do using Instagram is location tagging. You can take a photo and then you can log the location where that photograph was taken. so that people can find it and they can go to the exact same spot. Now, of course, this is great for bricks and mortar businesses. So, for example, you could take a photo of a store if you run a retail store, and you can then location tag it so that people can find where that store is using their smartphones. It's good for off-site services. So let's say, for example, you have a company that lays driveways. What you can do is, after the driveway is all laid down and finished, you can take a photo of it, upload it to Instagram with a location tag, and you can get people to come by and take a look at the quality of your work and hopefully buy a driveway from you. And of course, if you exhibit at a trade show or an exhibition or an event, then you can geotag a picture of your stand, and you can get people to find you at a trade show very easily that way. You can also use local hashtags on Instagram, and this can be very powerful. And what you should do is search for local hashtags regularly, and be sure to add your photos to that particular hashtag. And this works well for tourist attractions as well as places like restaurants and retail stores and that sort of thing. So if you have a local audience, if you cater to a local fan base, or you have a local customer base, then making sure that you tie yourself into some of these local hashtags can be very good for you, because it can get people who are looking in a particular area to find your business. It's also good for real world networking. You know, if you have a retail store and people come in, let's say you run a hair salon or something like that, you could ask customers to follow you. You could take a photo of yourself, a selfie with a customer, and then tag them in it. Like I was saying earlier, if you run a hair salon, you take a photo of someone with their new haircut and tag them in it. And then, of course, this gives customers a great reason to follow you too, because there's a sort of degree of reciprocity in all this. If you tag someone in your photo, then quite often they'll tag you in theirs, and that introduces you to their fan base. And you can sign up online at Instagram.com, or what you can do is you can download the app from the Apple App Store, or you can get it on Google Play. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how you can get the most from hashtags. Now, hashtags are used on most social media sites, but chiefly on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And they're used to group together posts, pictures, and tweets by subject. And they're a sort of metadata tag. And they're particularly useful for coordinating activity on Twitter and Instagram. Okay, a few simple rules for writing hashtags. First of all, in a hashtag, the hash symbol directly precedes the word or phrase. Don't put a space after the hashtag symbol, otherwise it won't work properly. Secondly, a hashtag needs to be written as a single word without spaces. Thirdly, while you can use a number in a hashtag, typically punctuation and special characters won't work, so just alphanumeric characters only. And finally, hashtags can be placed anywhere in a post. They can be at the beginning, the middle, or the end of a tweet or an update. Now, when deciding on a hashtag, you want to make sure that, first of all, it's relevant to the subject that you're going to be tagging. And secondly, you want to make sure that it's going to be memorable. It's going to be something that sticks in people's minds so that they remember to look for it. What you should do is check to see if a hashtag is already in use for a particular topic before you coin your own. And if there is already a hashtag, then you should use it, because it'll make your contribution easier to find and follow. And quite often, Particularly on Twitter, you'll find that once a subject comes up, once it starts being noticed, there'll be all sorts of different hashtags related to that particular topic. But after a while, one of those hashtags will become the dominant one. That's the one that people start looking for. That's the one that starts trending. And so that's the one that you want to hashtag your contribution with because, as I said, it's going to make it easier for people to find and follow. Now, on Twitter, individuals can see a 100% increase in engagement by using hashtags. Brands can see a 50% increase. And tweets with one or more hashtags are 55% more likely to be retweeted. And this is according to Twitter's own research. But, and there always is a downside, tweets with more than 2 hashtags show a drop in engagement by an average of 17%. And advertising tweets without a hashtag, an at or mention generate 23% more clicks. So if you are going to be having an advertising tweet, it's best not to have a hashtag or a mention because that does actually perversely in some ways make it more clickable. Twitter actually has a very good section on their blog which explains how to choose a hashtag. It's been up there for a couple of years now, but it is still relevant. And if you want to read it, you go to blog.twitter.com/2013/how-to-choose-a-hashtag. On Instagram, highest engagements come from posts with more than 11 hashtags. So when it comes to tagging your photos on Instagram, the more the merrier. Think of every hashtag that you can think of that describes your picture and put it on there. Look for hashtags that are starting to trend that are of a similar subject to your photo, and you can't go wrong. So in a complete contrast to Twitter, really, whereas with Twitter, less is more. On Instagram, more is more when it comes to hashtags. Now, the most liked Instagram hashtags are these ones: follow for follow, like for like, follow for with the number follow, L for L, F for F, TFLers, follow back, tags for like, follow me, and follow. The least liked Instagram hashtags were repost, NYE, drunk, love her, truth, Super Bowl, I love him, I love you, I love them, and best friends. So these are the sort of hashtags that you want to avoid if you're going to hashtag something on Instagram. On Facebook, hashtags can do more harm than good. Posts with only a few hashtags outperform those with lots of hashtags. So if you do want to use hashtags on Facebook, don't use more than 2. There are a couple of services which you can use to help keep track of hashtags and to analyze them and so on. They're both paid for services, but they are certainly worth the money. The first one is Keyhole, which you can find here at keyhole.co. And the other one here is hashtags.org. And as it says here, it's hashtag analytics for your brand, business, product, service, event, or blogs. And it gives you a lot of information about each service here on the site. In this video, I want to give you a quick overview about using Facebook for marketing purposes. First of all, though, a bit of background about Facebook. Facebook is the granddaddy of social media sites. It was founded in 2004, and it was one of the first social media companies to float on the stock market. And Facebook's reach straddles the globe. In fact, most developed countries have access to Facebook, notable exceptions being the former Soviet countries where they use the Cyrillic alphabet, China, which of course doesn't like social media, particularly Facebook, all that much, and some countries in sub-Saharan Africa where they don't have very well-established internet or telecommunications networks. But for most of the world, North and South America, Europe, Middle East, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Australia, they are covered by Facebook, and you can reach people in those countries through Facebook. Now, here's some facts about Facebook. Facebook is the second biggest website on the net. And if Facebook were a country, it would be one of the largest in the world. Facebook has 1.44 billion active monthly users, and at least 72% of users check in every month. And 680 million people use it every single day. So as you can see, it is a massive site with massive reach. Now, those users are not just active on Facebook. They're engaging and they're taking part. And they're sitting on the site for long periods of time. Now, this is pretty much the perfect storm for marketers looking for somewhere to access a large number of people. And it's good for both business to business and business to consumer communication. There are two ways of promoting your business, brand, product, or service on Facebook. The first way is organically via a Facebook page, and the second is via pay-per-click Facebook ads. And both should form part of any marketing strategy on Facebook. Let's look at organic traffic first. Creating a Facebook page is very similar to creating a profile page for yourself personally, and you have many of the same elements. You have information, you have a profile picture, and you have a cover image. And if we look here, you can see a Facebook page for a fictitious coffee shop. You can see that they've got their logo prominently displayed. They've got a nice background image. They've got their friends and fans. They've also got information about their locations. They've got videos. They've got photos. And they've also got likes. And likes are very important. Because you see, when somebody likes your post or page, all their friends on Facebook will know about it. And to them, this might seem almost as though that person, the person who's liked your page, is advocating your brand. And this is the social influence factor, because if you see that your friend has liked a company or a brand, you'll be much more inclined to like that brand yourself, or to potentially trust them in future when you need their services. And this is powerful stuff. Facebook ads, on the other hand, work in a similar way to Google AdWords, and that is a pay-per-click or PPC method. And this works, as the name would imply, you pay for every click. So you pay a fee every time someone clicks on your ad. And the more you're prepared to pay, the more prominently and more often your ad gets shown. Unlike AdWords, though, Facebook ads let you define your audience strategically and with a very narrow focus. And this is because Facebook gives you access to huge amounts of information about each member. Users will typically share details such as their age, their profession, their hobbies, their interests, their marital status, their location, and a lot more. And this gives you the ability to pick exactly who you want to see your ads. Would you rather that your ads were seen by teenagers, or would you rather they were seen by women based in a specific city who were engaged? And this is going to depend on the sort of product. So let's say, for example, you are promoting a boy band that's aimed at teenagers. You would be able to drill down and make sure that your ad was only seen by teenagers, and specifically by teenage girls. On the other hand, if you ran a bricks and mortar store selling wedding dresses, you would only want women who were engaged to view that ad and to click on it and to go to the page for your store. And with Facebook ads, you can do that. In both cases, 40-year-old guys in another city really wouldn't be interested in either of these ads, so they wouldn't see them. Whereas if you were to have an ad on Google AdWords, for example, everybody who looks for that particular keyword when they're doing a search or goes to a page that's got Google AdSense on it that's similarly related would see it, and that those people or that guy would not really be interested in what you were selling, so that would be a waste of your money. But of course, when you've got Facebook, when you can drill down so that only specific people who are going to be interested in your product or in your service actually see that ad, then it's going to be a lot more productive. Facebook also lets you set goals for your ad. And the options they give you are fairly wide-ranging and comprehensive. And these include improving engagements of a post, getting more likes for your Facebook page, getting more clicks or leads for your website, getting more installs for a mobile or Facebook app, and promoting your event or offer. Now, this way, you drastically reduce the amount of people clicking on your ads who aren't likely to take the type of action that you want. And you ensure that all of your money is being spent on worthwhile and useful advertising. And Facebook ads work best when you combine them into a single broad strategy and maintain synergy with your other marketing activities too. So if you use Facebook ads in conjunction with a Facebook page to get more involvement, to get more likes, then the two can work together hand in hand. To create a page on Facebook, it's very simple. Simply log into Facebook, click on the create a page link, which you'll find down on the left-hand side of the page. And then you can choose the type of page that you want depending on what you're making the page for. So it can be for a local business or place, company, organization or institution, brand or product, artist, band or public figure, entertainment, cause or community. So choose your category, click on the icon and then follow the on-screen instructions. What the exact procedure is going to vary depending on the type of Facebook page that you're creating, but the on-screen instructions are fairly straightforward and comprehensive. In this video, I want to talk a bit about Pinterest and give you a quick rundown on how you can use it for marketing. First of all, though, let me give you some background on Pinterest. Pinterest is a visual discovery, collection, and storage tool. And it's basically a picture-based social bookmarking site. It was launched in 2010, and it's free to use. And users can upload, save, sort, and manage images, known on Pinterest as pins, and other social media content, for example, videos and images, through collections that are known as pinboards. And Pinterest acts as a personalized media platform. Users can browse the content of others in their feed. And users can then save individual pins to one of their own pinboards using the Pin It button. And pinboards are typically organized by a central topic or a theme. And you can also personalize your experience with Pinterest by pinning items, creating boards, and interacting with other members. And by doing so, the user's pin feed displays unique personalized results. And Pinterest can be accessed via computers, smartphones, and tablets. And it's good for business to business and business to consumer communications. And Pinterest can actually be highly beneficial to businesses that need to showcase products or locations. So we're talking businesses like restaurants, you could have some photographs of the different foods that are on the menu. Clothing manufacturers and retailers can show the latest fashions. Car dealerships can show the latest cars that they've got in. Real estate agents can showcase houses and other properties. And tourist attractions, of course, can use it to generate interest, particularly if you've got some sort of forthcoming attraction or you're putting on some sort of an event. Then pictures on Pinterest can be very powerful indeed. And there are lots and lots of other applications for it as well. Now, Pinterest has separate accounts for business users, which have different features from the ones that you would use just for an ordinary consumer. And you can join as a business and find out more information at this site here, business.pinterest.com. And they've got some tools to help you get started, as widget builders and brand guidelines and so on. And there's also some success stories. If I just click here on this tab, you can see there's all these different companies that have been using Pinterest as part of their marketing strategy. And scroll down a bit here. You can see there's all these different types of companies, restaurants, clothing companies, all sorts of things, large and small. For example, you've got Sony and WikiHow, you've got magazines like Vogue and so on. Let's just delve into one of them here. Let's look at this one here, All Recipes. And if I scroll down, you can see it's got all the information about them. And at the bottom, you've got their featured board, you've got all their different recipes and so on. And it also explains how they use email marketing to drive pins. And there's similar stories from the other businesses that I just mentioned on the previous page. And I strongly recommend that you come to the Business Pinterest site and have a look around, because it goes into a lot of detail about how you can use Pinterest to drive traffic to your website and to build your business and to get the word out there. And Pinterest is a very underutilized tool, so you really will be getting a head start on your competition, and of course you'll be in very good company. So there you go. That's a brief overview about how you can use Pinterest to help build your business. There are two really new video streaming applications that are hitting the market right now, and they are really, really hot. One is called Periscope, and the other is called Blab, and I want to tell you about them in this video. First of all, let me tell you about Periscope. Periscope is a live video streaming smartphone app for iOS and Android. It was launched in 2014, and it was acquired by Twitter before the product was even launched, so the guys at Twitter knew that this was really going to be a winner. And Periscope enables users to send live video to other smartphone users equipped with the app. And the video can also be watched through desktops or laptops via the app, or it can be viewed on Twitter's website. And the video is retained online for 24 hours and then deleted. And you can subscribe to the Periscope broadcasts of people that you follow on Twitter. So it's almost like a video version of Twitter, really. And you can broadcast to everyone, or you can broadcast just to those people who you select to watch. And this is great for product launches. It's good for product demonstrations where you actually have to show something being done. You don't have to rely on a YouTube video. You can actually show them in real time. It's also good for things like live video podcasts. Let's just take a look at what the app looks like. You can see here's a mock-up of a home page provided by Periscope. And what you do when you're getting ready to shoot the video, you give it a tagline, click on the button that says Start Broadcast, and then you can start video streaming directly from your smartphone immediately. So that goes out in real time, and you can make it either public so that everyone can see it, or private just the people that you nominate to see it. And then once it's up on the site, you can get feedback from it, and people can watch it right away. And like I was saying earlier, it is also kept on their site for 24 hours. And another thing that you can do, a bit like Instagram, you can have geolocations. You can show where this particular thing was shot. And it is, as I say, available on the website for 24 hours afterwards. And you can find out more about Periscope at periscope.tv. You can also download the app from the Apple App Store, or you can get it on Google Play. You can also find out a lot of information about them from their Twitter feed, and their Twitter ID is Periscope Co. Now let's talk about Blab. Blab is a smartphone app, and it belongs to Bebo. Lots of people thought Bebo was gone forever, but it has actually come back via this Blab app. And it lets you view up to 4 video streams at the same time. So this is perfect for video conference calls, it's perfect for coaching sessions, and it's also good for direct communication with customers. It's all fairly new, so let me just show you the infographic that they have on their website. You can read it here at blab.im/about. And if I scroll down a bit, you can see what it's all about. You've got topic-driven conversations. You can have up to 4 people on the air at the same time. You can record the whole thing or just a portion of it. And you've got live audience participation here at the side. Let's go down a bit further. You can see what some of these people are using Blab for. You can see it's being used for after-show discussions, interviews, recording podcasts, coaching and teaching, and for discussion. So all very practical uses that you can put Blab to. And you can see from this graph here that it really is growing quite tremendously. And the average user spends about 65 minutes per day watching Blabs, over an hour of interaction, which is pretty powerful stuff. And it also goes on to explain a few things here about the story behind Blab and so on. And at the bottom of the page, if I go down a bit here, you can download the app, you can follow them on Twitter, and also, if I come to their main site, which is blab.im, they have a video that shows the thing in action, and you can also sign up with Twitter. So there you go. That's Periscope and Blab, 2 very new tools that I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more of during the time to come. In this video, I want to talk a bit about LinkedIn, and in particular, how you can use it to boost your business. LinkedIn is a social network aimed at businesses, and it's particularly useful for business networking. It was launched in 2003, so it's been around a while in internet standards, and it's got over 364 million users in more than 200 countries. And while LinkedIn isn't as effective for direct selling as sites like Facebook, its strength lies in networking and collaborating. And you can use LinkedIn to do things like keep up to date with industry news and opportunities. You can use it to find potential services and suppliers. It's good to keep track of your own employees and your own achievements in business. And it's also good for organizing your contacts. You can use it for networking, and I suppose that is probably the primary use that most people put LinkedIn to. And you can use it to, say, find job opportunities, find JV partners, find clients and customers, find and recruit potential employees. You can use it to look for business funding or to create new opportunities. When it comes to marketing, you can use LinkedIn to increase awareness. You can use it to build brand loyalty. You can use it to create a more professional impression for your brand and for your products or services. You can use it to promote a website and gain SEO and social media marketing benefits. You can use it to find potential clients and customers. And of course, you can use it to build leads and keep in contact with them. Let's take a look at the site. To sign up for LinkedIn, come here to linkedin.com and fill out the information here and click Join Now. There are free and paid for versions of the site, but for most people, the free version is going to be sufficient. You can get lots of extra statistics and things if you have the paid for version, but as I was saying, for most people, the free version, the basic version, is perfectly adequate. When you sign up, they'll talk you through filling out the various sections. They'll want to know your name and your background and your education and that sort of thing. They'll also, with your permission, go through your email address book, especially if you've got one of these online services like Gmail or Hotmail or something like that. And they'll find people who are already members of LinkedIn, and we'll send them an email inviting them to connect with you. So you can build your network very, very quickly. Now, rather than talk you through the sign up procedure, because it is actually fairly straightforward, let me show you the LinkedIn page of someone who's very famous and who uses LinkedIn quite a lot, and that's Bill Gates. And you can see it's got his profile picture. It says what he's doing now, his current position, where he lives, which is the greater Seattle area, his education, shows how many people are following him, and you can click the button here to follow him if you wish. You've got his recent posts on LinkedIn. It's got the background, his background summary, his experience. Shows here that he's been the co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for 15 years, and before that he was co-founder and president of Microsoft. It's got his education at Harvard University and that he went to Lakeside School in Seattle. You've also got here people who viewed his profile also viewed these other people here. It's got the companies that he's following, and so on. And then there is some advertising here. You can actually advertise on LinkedIn. It's best for business to business advertising, but as I was saying earlier, it's generally better to use LinkedIn for finding things like JV partners and so on than actually direct advertising. So there you go. That's a brief overview of LinkedIn. In this video, I'm going to talk you through some ways to link your social media and your blog. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume that you have a WordPress blog because that's the most popular blogging platform. If you have a different type of site, then what I'm going to explain in this video is still possible to do. It's just going to be a lot more difficult. But if you have a WordPress site, then what I'm going to explain here is actually going to be quite simple. Now, there are several reasons why you would want to link your social media and your blog. First of all, it makes sure that your blog never looks tired. And it saves you from having to update it quite so often, because once you update your social media, you update your blog at the same time. Now, the more often your blog gets updated, the more often it gets crawled by search engines. And that increases its position in the search engine ranking positions, otherwise known as SERPs. Now, the first one that I want to tell you about is how you go about adding your latest tweets into the sidebar of your blog. Okay, the first thing to do is to log into your WordPress dashboard. come over here to where it says plugins, and then click here where it says add new. And the plugin that we're going to install is this one, WP Twitter Feeds, and you can do a search for it here in the search box. So just click here where it says install now. And there we go, that's installed. All I have to do now is click here where it says activate plugin. There we go, that's done. And now you can see it's here in the plugins page. Okay, I'm going to set this up so that it displays tweets in the main sidebar. So what we're going to do, come up here to where it says Appearance, and then Widgets. Okay, and if I scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see WP Twitter Feeds. So let's just drag that up into the main sidebar. Just drag it up to the top of the page. Okay, and here we have it in the main sidebar. And you've got a few things here you need to add in. You have to add the widget title, which we're going to keep with the default setting of latest tweets. You have to enter your Twitter username. The tweets cache time in minutes, I'm going to leave it at the default setting of 4. The number of tweets to fetch, I'm going to leave that at 3. And then you have to have the Twitter API settings. And for that, you have to get that from Twitter. So let me just pause the video and take you to their website. To create an API key, come here to apps.twitter.com and click here on the link where it says, please sign in with your Twitter account to create and maintain Twitter apps. So just click there. And you enter your phone number, email, or username and your password into these boxes here. And you can either check or uncheck the box that says remember me. So let me just pause the video while I do that. And when that's done, click on the button here to log in. And it's telling me I don't currently have any Twitter apps, so I'm going to click here on this button that says Create New App. And it takes you through to this page, and there's some information you have to enter. First of all, you want the application name, and this has to be a unique name. It mustn't contain the word Twitter, and it must be different from every other application name that there is out there, which is quite a tall order. So what I usually do is enter my website URL, or the first part of it, and a number, and that will mean that it'll be a unique name. So let's just enter that in. Then you have to enter the description, and this isn't publicly available. It's just something that will show up if you log in again and need to create another app. So it's just for your own memory jogging, really. And then you also need to enter the website URL, and this has to be the full URL of the website, including the HTTP. Then you have the callback URL. And in most cases, like the one that we're going to use here, you don't need to enter anything into this field here. You can actually leave this blank. So let's just enter this other information in. And when all that is done, you have to scroll down and agree to the developer agreement. It's all sort of fairly straightforward. You've got all the legal stuff. So you check the box that says, yes, I agree, and then you click here, create your Twitter application. And there we go. It's telling me that my application has been created, and it's got the application name. Now I need to get the API key and the API secret, and sometimes these are also referred to as the consumer key and the consumer secret, respectively. So to get those, I need to click on this tab here that says Keys and Access Tokens. And you can see we've got the consumer key and the consumer secret. And what I need to do now is to copy and paste these into the application. So let me just pause the video while I do that. Okay, that's pasted in. You'll notice, though, there's another couple of things that you need to fill out: the access token and the access token secret. And to set that up, it's a separate operation back on the Twitter website. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on the button here that says Create My Access Token. And it's saying my application access token has been successfully generated. So if I just scroll down to the bottom of the page, you can see we have it here. So let's just copy and paste this information. And that's done. One thing about the access token, it is hyphenated, and on some monitors you'll find that it is on 2 lines when you get it out of the Twitter website. You want to make sure that you get it all, so sometimes you might need to make sure that you get the top line and the bottom line, but it all goes in the same place here on your website. Okay, let's just scroll down a bit. You can also show Twitter intents or hide Twitter intents text. The style, you can have list or a slider. I'm going to leave it at list. You can have a circular avatar image, display the avatar image, exclude quoted replies, show a go after the time, and you can set Twitter like short time or screen time. You can show the widget border, and you can have a different theme if you wish. I'm going to leave all this at the default settings and just click here on Save. And there we go, that's saved. So let's go to the main website. I'm going to click here on Visit Site. And there we go. You can see we've got the latest tweets in the sidebar. And you can tell this is a demonstrator account because I don't use it all that often. But if I was a regular tweeter, these would be updated fairly regularly. And of course, every time I put a tweet to Twitter, then my blog gets updated at the same time, which is pretty cool. One way to make sure that you get more engagement between your blog and social media is to ensure that your site is easy to share. And there is a very good plugin which will allow you to do that. And the plugin I'm going to use for this is called Shareaholic, and I've installed it already, and the process is the same as in the last section here. And you'll see that it's installed the Shareaholic link down here, and it's also saying that I can get started now. So let's just click up here on this button. Opens this pop-up, and once you clicked on the Get Started button, you're agreeing to the terms of service and the privacy policy, both of which you can read on their website. So let's just click here to get started. Now you can register with Shareaholic to get all these extra features here. And you do so by simply clicking here where it says sign up for free. But you don't have to have all those to make it work, and I'm going to skip those for this demonstration. But basically what you can do is you can have here related and promoted content, and you can put these buttons under a post or under a page, and you can also have them under the index or under the category, and you can edit the related and promoted content settings. You can have the different share buttons and so on. And you can also customize what these buttons look like. Let me just show you here. I'll click on the customize button. You can change the theme. You can change the number of posts, and this gives you an idea as to what it will look like when they show the related content underneath your page or post. Okay, we should click on Save Settings if you've changed it, or just click up here on the X if you haven't. I haven't, so I'm just going to click on the X. You can also edit the share button settings. Let me just click on that. Opens up this pop-up window, and all this is fairly straightforward, but there is one thing that I will show you which is the follow buttons. And you can use this to get lots of extra followers to Facebook and Twitter and so on from your blog. Let's just click here where it says edit. And you can set the arrangement of the buttons, but also, if I scroll down a bit, you have spaces here. Oops. You can enter the username for Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and a whole lot of other sites. And what this will do is it will encourage people to follow you on these various social media sites from directly within your blog. And it's a very, very powerful way of doing it. Now, obviously, this is just a demo, so I'm not going to enter any information here. But if this were a real site, I would put my usernames here in these boxes. Okay, let's just close the box here by clicking on the X. Okay, let's activate that and click here to save settings. And there you go, it's saying settings successfully saved. Let's just go to the main site and I'll show you what it looks like. Click here on Visit Site. And there we go. There are the buttons on the page. And this just makes it so easy for people to share the content on Facebook and Twitter and all these other social media sites. Plus, of course, if we'd set up the Follow Me section, people could easily follow you on these social media sites as well. So there you go, just 2 ways that you can link your social media and your blog to get the best out of both of them. One of the worst things that can happen to your social media site, be it Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever, is that it appears dead. And there are some ways that you can ensure that that never happens, and I'm going to talk you through them in this video. Now, we all know that staying active on social media can be very time consuming. And if you run a business, then obviously you have to divide your time between actually running your business and promoting it on social media. And it's best to be active on more than one social media platform. So you should have a presence on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and any other social media platform that you can think of, because you really should be everywhere all the time, because that way you stand the best chance of getting more customers, getting more contacts, building your network, and so on. And there are 3 ways that you can stay on top of things. You can do it manually by yourself, or by somebody in your organization. You can do it automatically, and I'll talk a bit more about that later on in the video. Or you can outsource it altogether and get somebody else to run your social media for you, a VA or somebody similar. Then let's look at how you can do this manually. First of all, you should set aside a certain block of time each day to attend to social media. So that could be something like first thing in the morning, or it could be at the end of your working day, or it could be during the day whenever you perform a certain task. So, for example, every time you go down to the kitchen to make a cup of tea or coffee, you could update one of your social media posts. And what some people recommend that you do is that you keep a tablet computer or an old smartphone in your kitchen. And so every time you go to make that cup of tea or coffee, you can check your Facebook, check your Twitter, update it, retweet something, that sort of thing. And that way you're going to be active all the time. And you can do it, while you're waiting for the kettle to boil or something like that. And it's not going to take up a great deal of time out of your day. Alternatively, you can use automated services to generate content. So you could schedule posts or tweets ahead of time and write them and get them put up so that your social media never appears dead. Also, Cross-posting to different social media platforms at the same time and linking them together will mean that when you update one particular social media platform, it updates others as well. So you could have it to show the latest tweet on your blog, for example. So every time you send a tweet, your blog gets updated. You can link Facebook and Twitter and all sorts of things automatically. And there are some third-party services that can help you to do that. Okay, the first site is Buffer, which you can find here at buffer.com. And what you can do with Buffer is you can, particularly using it with Twitter, is you can schedule lots of tweets. You can write lots of different tweets in advance and schedule them to go out at a certain time and a certain date. So if you don't have time to write a tweet and send it to your Twitter followers, then Buffer will do it automatically for you. They do have a charge for using it for business, but it's not particularly bad. It starts at about $10, and there is a free trial at the time that I'm making this video. And as I said, you can find out more at buffer.com. The next site is Hootsuite, and Hootsuite is really several social media tools built into one, and it can do everything that Buffer can. And it's a bit more complicated than Buffer, but it does let you manage multiple accounts, and it lets you see various different social media streams in one place. It also lets more than one person log in, which can be very useful if you hire someone to look after your social media. And you can sign in with Twitter, Facebook, or Google+. Again, it is a paid-for service, but there is a free trial offer at the time that I'm making this video, and you can find out more at hootsuite.com. And finally, there's IFTTT. Now, IFTTT stands for If This Then That. And what this does is it links all of your different social media accounts and online apps by creating what they call recipes. And recipes are comprised of some type of trigger, an event or an action. So, for example, you can set up a recipe so that every time you post a comment to Facebook, it's also posted to Twitter. And it's an incredibly powerful tool. There's lots and lots of different uses that you can put this to. And you can find out more about this service at ifttt.com. Another way that you can make sure that your social media is never dead is to outsource the updating of it. And what you can do is to hire someone to post to social media for you. And this can be on a regular or an ad hoc basis. Preferably, you should get someone in your organization to do it if you're big enough. Otherwise, you should hire a freelancer to do it. One thing that you can do, if your kids are old enough, is to get them to post stuff for you after school, because most teenagers in particular enjoy spending time on social media. So if you can get them to do something that's going to be beneficial to your business at the same time, well, you kill two birds with one stone. And if you do a search on Fiverr for social media posts, you'll find lots of people here who will post to your social media accounts for $5 and even do more VA work as well. Personally, I would only hire someone off Fiverr if you needed somebody on an ad hoc basis. If you're going to have a more ongoing relationship with someone, if you want to have someone as a virtual assistant on a regular basis, then it's probably best to hire them off a site like Freelancer. And you can come here to freelancer.com and click on the Hire button and do a search for virtual assistant or social media posting, and you'll find lots of people who are offering their services, and prices vary, but sort of do bear in mind that when it comes to this sort of thing, you get what you pay for. So it's best to pay as much as you can afford for a good quality job. Now, once you've established yourself on social media, it's very important that you maintain an active presence. Because if your social media goes dead, people might assume that you've gone out of business. And of course, that's the last thing that you want.